Hey, it's April from the Noble Garden, and this is my second episode of the Beginner Gardeners. My first video went over about finding your location in your land of where you want to grow. The second episode is going to be talking about what zone you are, when's your last frost date, and your planting guide. I garden by zone. So I know what zone I am in, and that tells me my last frost date. And then I kind of review one by one each plant to figure out what I want to grow. I have looked up a couple of diagrams that I think will help new beginners understand it a little bit more. The other way that you can look at plants is by the temperature each plant wants to be grown at. I have not done this method. I don't know much about it. I just know that some people have gotten away from gardening zones and looked more about the temperatures in their area and went off the temperatures of what the plants want. So if you're interested in that type of gardening, you're going to have to do some more research on that. And even with me giving you the information I am today, I would still recommend doing some research. I'm just trying to help you a little bit. I have done in the past just pick specific plants. Like cucumbers, I would Google when's the best time to grow cucumbers, kind of thing, just to kind of figure out information about cucumbers. So I have studied each crop as well. So, first question or first thing you need to know, what growing zone do you live in? I am going to show you the web page that I found that I think will be helpful. In my descriptions below, all three websites that I'm showing you will be a link in the description below. So let me go ahead and show you what I found for you. So one important thing to know when doing your garden is what planting zone you're in. This website, all I did was, guys, just go to Google and put in planting zones by zip code. And you can see here, you can put your zip code in. We're going to put mine in. When I put it in, it tells me 7B. As I browse that page some more, I do see it actually gives you a lot of information. You can read through it. It'd be a good research tool. But now that I know what growing zone I'm in, I need to know when is my last frost date. So let's look that up. So I Googled last frost date by zip code. So let's see what it tells me. So my last frost date is April 19th. My first fall frost date is October 19th. And my growing season has 182 days. So what I do with this information is I know any frost tender plants cannot be put out before April 19th. And those plants, the main ones that people like to grow would be like cucumber, squash, zucchini, melons, and tomatoes. The other thing that it helps me know my last frost date is that if I'm going to start my own seeds, then I know whatever the pack tells me. Some packs tell you to plant indoors 4 to 6 weeks before last frost date. You have April 19th. I can subtract the weeks and I'll know when to start my seeds. So that's another reason why you need to know it. And I will tell you, this is a guesstimate, and this goes off of years of what your climate and what your temperature has done in your area. So it's not an exact science. And normally what I do is I always start my seeds 4 to 6 weeks or whatever from the last frost date. However, I'm approaching this last frost date and it has just been a cold winter and it's still frosty outside. I'm not putting it outside. I watch my 10-day forecast. If there is calling for any frost whatsoever, I'm not going to put my plants out just because it tells me April 19th. There have been times where I do creep into May before I can plant things. So this is just to kind of give you a figure of, like a starting point, in other words. So the other thing I looked up was like a planting schedule. I don't really use a planting schedule anymore, but when I first got started growing, it was one of the main things I used to kind of help me, and I thought maybe it could help you guys as well. So let's check that one out. So for this one, I think I put in like planting schedule by zone. And of course now I know I'm zone 7, so I'm going to pick zone 7. And this is pretty cool because it kind of goes into like this. And it also tells you about frost dates, but I chose to put my zip code in because it gives it like more for my area. This is a general idea for zone 7, and I'll go over that a little bit more in just a second. But it gives you a little graph about when's the best time and what's the best things to grow. For tomatoes, it says the sweet melon, the mater sandwich. It kind of gives you little ideas of plants there. But this is kind of more what I wanted to show you. It gives you... So in green, that is when you'll start your seeds indoors. And the plant seed or transplant, what it means by plant seed is what they call direct sow, where you just put the seed in the ground. So you can see here, for example, if you're going to start seeds indoors for beans, you would start it looks like in April to May. And you want to put either the seed outside or the transplant in June, July. And then you want to harvest from August to October. I thought that graph is pretty cool. However, now that I'm looking at it, I'm zone 7 and I really do completely different things. And that's more from my experience of playing around with stuff. Of course, I've lost stuff in frost. I have not produced as much because I let it get too hot on things. As the years go by, if you really get into gardening and really put your effort in it, you will learn. And my best way of learning was YouTube channels. I have followed several people for years now, and I have learned a lot from them. To the point where, obviously, I got the idea to start my own YouTube channel so I can help people as well. So I will put this information of the website so you guys can find them easier in the description below. And I do want to talk about zones a little bit more. So, zones are done by Zone A and Zone B. Of course, what I just showed you was a general Zone 7. And my Zone 7B in North Carolina can be different than someone's Zone B in Oklahoma or Zone B in Arkansas. So you do have to get a little bit more familiar with your area to figure out what grows best and when. I have also in the past looked up when to grow green beans in North Carolina. So I get more specific information about my actual area. So I do hope this was very helpful for you guys. And I look forward to working with you guys more. And I will keep making videos to help you guys out. Thank you so much for watching.